A lot to get through, Tim, today, but we will do our best. So we're going to start at Wembley, where Manchester City were triumphant in a historic Carabao Cup final. And for Arsenal, it has been a tough result, but they're still in a very, very good position, of course. For the first time in the competition's history, though, the final was contested by the top two in the league. Arsenal remaining 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League, but how big of an impact will that result have on the title race? OK, let's get Tim's thoughts. And, of course, please keep sending us yours. Tim, I mean, it was a great result for Manchester City, a great performance as well. Was it a psychological blow from City on Arsenal?
I think it was. I was at the game. I worried for Arsenal looking at that performance yesterday. I thought they were outplayed. I thought there was nothing in the first half. It could have gone either way. Goalkeeper Kepa makes a mistake, and from there on, I didn't feel like Arsenal were going to get back in the game. I really didn't. It was a poor error, wasn't it? I mean, it was it goes back. I mean, you can't win. Only as a manager, you're always going to be asked the question: should you pay your best goalkeeper? I think when there's a gap like there is, and Raya and Kepa, I think there's such a gulf in quality. Nico Riley, sticks up 2 goals from academy player, which is obviously great to see. Spend all their money on players, and there's an academy boy who's a match winner yesterday. But going back to the goalkeeper, I just think there's such a gulf in the class of Raya and Kepa. I think where Arsenal and Mikel, the position they're in, they haven't won a trophy for so long, the FA Cup 5 years ago or something now. I would have played my best goalkeeper. Different for Pep Guardiola. He's obviously got credit in the bank. So many, can't fit any more trophies in his cabinet almost. For him to play Trafford, I think was a fair decision. I noticed that Mikel used that word, fair. Yeah. I don't mean you've got to be fair. You don't owe him anything, this goalkeeper. Just be fair to the fans, fair to the support. And I think that would have been to play Raya instead of Kepa yesterday.
Kepa doesn't have many fond memories of Wembley, does he? I mean, a famous penalty.
No, I was dreading it going to penalties because Mikel might have wanted to bring Raya on and he wouldn't have come off the pitch. It was difficult.
I mean, Pep Guardiola, like you say, he's won everything. He'll be smelling blood now, will he?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was uncharacteristic. I mean, obviously the emotions were higher, but you don't see that very often. Now, I know it's a final, but you don't see that too often from Pep. This is, look, incredible scenes. I mean, I can understand it. I mean, they've won a trophy, and he talked afterwards about, it's the team that they beat as well. It's so important. They're a big side, Arsenal, one of the best in the world at the moment. And we managed to get the result, and they deserved it. In the second half, they were so dominant. I just felt Arsenal looked like they would approach the game not to lose it, and Pep certainly, especially second half, just changed it, tweaked it a little bit, kept the wide players, Doku and Semenyo, high and wide. Haaland was occupying the 2 centre halves, having a fight with them all afternoon. He didn't get much, flowers regarding his play and getting the balls into him, but he was occupying them too, and he's creating space for the Cherkis and Bernardo Silva, who Pep pushed forward. Yeah. And Rodri looked like Rodri of old, he was controlling the game in the midfield. For me, the best player for Arsenal was Declan Rice, but he might as well have been playing centre-half yesterday. He was so deep. He was playing in front of, he was touching distance of the 2 centre-halves, Gabriel and Saliba. So they just had to step in, they had to play through. The build-up was slow, it was ponderous from Kepa. They should have played forward and turned Man City around and played in their half. They didn't have any answers yesterday. It was worrying if you're an Arsenal fan.
Tim, you've managed at the very, very highest level, right? And we're going to talk a lot about managers today, managers under pressure. Yeah. Arteta, they've had an unbelievable season up until yesterday. Yeah. They're going for the quadruple. Yeah. He's now waking up this morning under huge scrutiny about these decisions he's made in the final and so on. Arsenal didn't turn up yesterday. Can happen in football. It's always unforgivable in a cup final. Do you feel a bit for Arteta, though, that, and Arsenal fans are going to be now reverting into panic mode because they've seen titles slip away?
They've still got a healthy lead, haven't they? Let's have it right in the Premier League. But I think that the game in hand, Man City, they win that, then they beat them at the Etihad. I mean, it's down to 3 points. So there's no room for slip-ups then. You see Righty say it on the VT there, it's not over. Let's get it short. This is not over. And I don't think it is over. I think there's still a long way to go. That was a statement of intent there from Man City yesterday, and Pep knows it. I think with them celebrations, what he showed there also, he knows that they've got the advantage psychologically now. I know it's a big gap. They're still, and Arsenal, they've dealt with most things that have been thrown at them this season. They're still challenging in the other 3 competitions. I think they will collect a trophy this year. I still believe, I've said it for a long time, it will be the Premier League.
Okay.
But they're going to have to work hard. It's not over.
Would you be surprised if City walk away as champions?
No. No. I think it was, and I was impressed. Kusanov was excellent yesterday.
Yeah, good player.
You know, O'Reilly at fullback, Nunes was great as well. You know, he plays Nathan Ake at the beginning of the game. I was thinking, oh, that's a chance for Arsenal. Not sure. Nathan Ake was superb. Like I say, Rodri was incredible yesterday, back to his best, controlled the game in the middle of the pitch. And the wide players, they get at the defenders, they cause them problems. You know, like Semenyo's a very good player. He's not only a goal threat, but he also stretches defences out. Cherky looked like he was enjoying himself a little bit too much yesterday when he was juggling the ball, and Ben White comes and smashes him, gets a yellow card. Deserves it, you know, showboating in the wrong areas. And I'm sure he was told by Pep Guardiola, nothing goes past this guy. You know, he's a serial winner. He's an absolute genius of a manager. And it'll be a sad sight when we see him leave the Premier League.
Because it was quite emotional, Pep, wasn't it? I was trying to think where you could read anything into that, whether he was thinking, he was so delighted to win a trophy. Was there some suggestion that this could be the end of the road for Pep? It was emotional scenes, wasn't it? For
yeah, he just won a trophy. Like, he enjoys it when he wins, doesn't he? You know, he's won so many times. But the feeling's always the same.
Is he going to be there next season?
The drive. If you ask, I think he's not. I don't know why. I've got no inside information, but I would say that not because of this trophy or not because of wherever they are, even if they win the Premier League. I think he might have a break after this season. I think it's about time then Pep has a break. And I'll be very surprised, and it'll be a sad day when he leaves the Premier League, because he's been an absolute credit to the Premier League.
It won't be sad for other teams.
No, they'll be delighted.
He's been so good, and you know, he's won everything there is to win. Like you say, he's won the Champions League, won the Premier League numerous times, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, everything. If he is to go, City have got a hell of a job in replacing him.
Good luck to whoever goes in there as the next manager.
Is it shades of replacing, like when Moisey went in to replace Fergie?
Absolutely. Look, they've got the tools, haven't they? And Pep's always first to say that the club have always given the tools to work with to be able to be successful. And they've got, and look at how young their team is as well. They've got young players. So, and a lot of them are bedding into the Premier League. They're still trying to learn what it's all about. They will get better, but if this man leaves, I think it's going to be an uphill task for anyone to follow. It's a big shoes to fill. A lot of messages coming in, as you can see at the bottom of your screen now. We'll bring these out. You just get in touch with us on WhatsApp. You can see the QR code in the bottom of your screen there right now. Just scan it, send us a message. We've seen Douglas there, Zerzi before. Zerzi still backing Arsenal to go on and win the league. And Douglas is saying that's a statement from Pep and City. Pep knows that victory gets into Arsenal's head before, as he says, squeaky bum time, which it will feel like that for Arsenal fans this morning. Absolutely. It was dominant performance in the second half. It really was. Arsenal couldn't get out. It wasn't until Calafiori come on and Mikel started throwing on, a little bit of pace. Martinelli as well. Jesus come on. He threw on every attacking player he possibly could. They just couldn't break him down. Calafiori with a header and the volley, what just clips the outside of the post. That was it. And City just looked like they would score every time they went forward. So there was too much protection in my eyes for Gabriel and Saliba. I think they're capable of defending on their own. I think the midfield should have stepped higher up the pitch and given more support to the forward players. And there's too many players at the moment who are out of form for Arsenal. I think Saka's like shadow of himself, really. Yeah. I think he's not been himself this season. No, he needs to come back to the party. I think he's capable. Like I always say, I think he's a little superstar, the kid. But at the moment, he's having a bad time of it. And incredible to say that his team are still in 3 competitions, and in a cup final yesterday, and 9 points clear in the Premier League, and their best player, from many seasons, is having the worst season of his career. Incredible. Let's get a couple of fans on, Tim, now, and let's let the debate continue. We can get the perspective from the red corner and the blue corner. So,
Finalysis has partnered with Sky Sports to empower fan opinion. On the Finalysis app, you share your player ratings, your manager ratings, and your opinions on everything to do with your club, so that Sky Sports can put fan opinion at the heart of their football coverage. Scan the QR code to download the Finalysis app.
Yeah, we can speak to Arsenal fan Scarlett Katz-Roberts. Scarlett, nice to see you, and Manchester City fan Aston Buckley as well. Nice to have you on, Aston. Right, so much to get through here. Scarlett, cup final defeats are always painful, but does this one feel maybe even more painful and damaging than usual?
Yes and no. Look, I mean, Arsenal fans wanted a trophy badly, and we haven't won the League Cup since '93. So there's no disguising the fact that that was a big occasion for us. But ultimately, you can lose any game, particularly when your keeper chucks one in his own net. And, you know, City were better than us on the day. Ultimately, in that second half, they took the game to a place we couldn't live with. And that is the concerning and damaging thing for me. But ultimately, Arsenal are still where they need to be. And I think that's probably what makes this hurt a little bit less, the position that we have in the major competition. So it's time to focus. It's the international break. Let our wounds heal and go again.
Scarlett, you would have played David Raya, yeah?
Yes, I would have. I mean, Kepa being the main character in the League Cup final, who would have thought?
It's a fair point. That was one we were just making, yeah, with his history at Wembley Stadium. Aston, I mean, you're sitting there with a wry grin on your face, mate. I mean, there's one in the bag. Do they go on and win the title now? Do you think you've got the psychological advantage?
To an extent, yes, but you know, I mean, City were brilliant yesterday. Probably the best performance of the season. You're probably looking at that game and wondering why City haven't played like that all season. They really dominated Arsenal, and this is an Arsenal side that are widely considered, you know, sort of the best team in Europe at the moment, best team in England. So City did really well to dominate them. They couldn't really get out at all in the second half. Arsenal. I mean, when Calafiori came on, they had a few chances at the post twice, I suppose, but before that, City were all over them. Great performances. But I mean, City could play like that till the rest of the season now. We could play as good as that. We could win every game in the Premier League. We could beat Arsenal at the Etihad, and we still wouldn't win the league because it is in Arsenal's hands. So that is the issue. But hopefully it does demoralise Arsenal a little bit. They see that City have got it in them to take them on, to beat them. If they come to the Etihad and lose, maybe then, you know, they do sort of start to bottle it a little bit as they have done in the past. But I'm not sure, really. It's great for City, a great win, great to win the Cup, but I'm not sure how much it does affect the league.
Scarlett, did we see yesterday that actually, despite everything, City are just better than Arsenal?
They certainly have immense individual quality. I think on the evidence of this season, we can't say City are better than Arsenal because however many match weeks have gone by and Arsenal are currently 9 points ahead, albeit with City with a game in hand. I think Arsenal had a bad day. I think, you know, call it putting your excuses in. I think Arteta had his hands tied behind his back a little bit with the selection. But ultimately, I don't think there is a lack of quality in that Arsenal side. I think that we didn't show up when it really mattered.
Tim, you were at the game yesterday, mate. Did we see there in evident that City are still a better side all round than Arsenal?
I think what we saw is a team with a lot more flair than Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal stay in games and they find a way. You've seen it time and time again this season. And there's all different ways. I'm not criticising them for this, but there's different ways to win football matches. But when your goalkeeper throws one in the net and then you've got to try and chase the game, I don't think they did that well enough. I think if Raya was there, they would have took it deeper into the game. Maybe more space would have opened up. They would have brought on Martinelli, you know, a little bit of pace going forward. And it might have been a different game, but they've been hard to beat. And yesterday, I didn't think they looked hard to beat. Obviously, because of the goalkeeping error, I think it all comes down to Kepa throwing one in there, as Scarlett said. But I just felt Man City had better structure, more cohesion, and certainly more attacking threats than even when Haaland's not playing well, he's not getting out. He's occupying Gabriel and Saliba. They were fighting him all day long, and it opened up the space for Cherki, who had a proper game yesterday. He really enjoyed the big stage. And Semenyo's always going to be a threat with Doku as well. Bernardo Silva, I thought, was incredible. He was at his irritating best. And Rodri looked like he was back to his best as well, you know, controlling the midfield area. So, and they had options off the bench as well. So you'd have to say they were certainly the better team yesterday. I still think Arsenal will find, like Scarlett says, I think they will find a way between now and the end of the season to stay ahead of City. But I agree with Aston. City will go all the way. They'll go all the way. I don't see them dropping points between now and the end of the season.
I'm going to ask you both, Scarlett, Aston, about your managers. Aston, I'll start with you. Pep looked very emotional at the end of the game. Tim's saying, you know, he wouldn't be surprised if Pep wasn't there at the start of next season. What do you think? Is this a sort of farewell for Pep Guardiola? Do you think he might step away at the end of this season?
I've no idea. We're trying to read into a lot with Pep Guardiola all the time, aren't we? I think everyone wants rid of him, really, other than the City fans. I know it's great for the other teams if Pep Guardiola does leave because he's dominated English football since he's come. I've no idea. I mean, he looked really emotional again. I mean, he really enjoyed that win, but he always enjoys the wins. You know, he's just won a trophy where City was so poor in a trophyless season last year. He's come in this year with new ideas. Things haven't really worked out the way Arsenal are way ahead in the league at the moment. But I don't know. I can't read things with Pep Guardiola. I can't read into his emotion and what he's going to do. At times you think he's gone. At times you think he's staying. There's a lot more